All right, welcome to the second episode of Mom's Basement. First ever one that will talk about something fun and decent. This one will be a lot longer than the first episode. My name is Buffalo Ben. I'm here with Ryan, my best friend. Again, we talk about nothing but football and try to educate everybody on the knowledge that we actually probably don't have.
Right, but we think we have.
Yeah, if we could play, it'd be a lot more fun.
Yes.
All right, so this episode we're going to talk about the AFC side, the East, the North, the South, and the West. We're going to go through divisions. We're going to go through division winners. Now that DeAndre Hopkins has signed with the Tennessee Titans, things have kind of mixed up a little bit. I don't think it's changed much of mine
either. No.
So we're going to start in the East. You have I think the toughest division in the AFC. What do you think, Ryan?
I would agree with that.
You got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. I mean, even though the Patriots on paper don't look very good, you got to give credit to Bill Belichick.
Agreed. As much as I don't want to, I have to.
There's so much evidence against Bill Belichick, though, that's like it was all Tom Brady.
So far, yeah.
But I don't know. For 23 years, Tom Brady's killed the Bills, and I'm a Bills fan, so a little biased on some things Buffalo related, but I'm going to keep it as neutral as possible.
You know my feeling on the Patriots because I'm a Colts fan. Colts-Patriots rivalries in the 2000s.
Yeah, the Bills played the Patriots more than the Colts did.
I know.
All right, so who do you have winning the East?
Right now, I got Buffalo and Miami tied, and I got Buffalo as a tiebreaker.
Okay. How close? What's the records you have for these
I got
guys?
them both 11-6.
Okay, any big losses for each team? Do you want to talk about any of those? That makes them 11-6. Are you assuming that Tua is going to stay healthy?
I am assuming that Tua is going to stay healthy.
Okay.
If Tua does not stay healthy, Miami's losses will go up a little bit.
Okay, so Bills would have a clear shot once Tua gets hurt.
If Tua gets hurt.
All right, yeah, I have the Bills at 14-3 this year. The biggest losses, the only losses they have, I have Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and Kansas City. The Bills have a pretty tough schedule this year.
They do. I have them splitting with Miami, and then I have them getting beat by Jacksonville, and then losing to Cincinnati and splitting with the Jets.
Yeah, I think the unrealistic thing is I have them sweeping the whole division.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
No, that's the one thing I was like, you know what, it should happen. But now that I've seen what the Bills have done on the offseason, we didn't get extra help for Stephon Diggs. We didn't get, the help that we should give Josh Allen to make us a Super Bowl team. And it's making me nervous because Josh Allen's going to continue to run, and I don't know how much longer he's going to have left.
You never know. You guys might go after Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I think Dalvin Cook will sign for cheap just to play with his brother, but I don't think the running back's the problem. We got 3 other running backs. It's the wide receivers. It's a big jump from our wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2.
Yep. But what do you have Miami at?
I have them at 9-8 right now, tied with the Jets for second. I actually factored in the fact that Tua probably won't be playing all the games this year. And, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can only do so much. That's the biggest dynamic duo in NFL.
You have them winning more games if Dalvin Cook goes there?
I don't think the running game's going to matter in Miami. They have the fastest guys in the NFL, both behind and in front of the O-line. It's going to be tough no matter who goes to Miami to run. But correct me if I'm wrong, Myles Gaskin is there, correct?
I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, yeah, he was, I think, the fastest running back in the NFL.
I know they got Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, he got traded, though. I'm not exactly sure what team, but the Jets, you have third, New England fourth?
I have New England and the Jets tied.
For last, really? You don't have faith in Aaron Rodgers this year?
It's just, I don't know. They got to prove it to me. Aaron Rodgers, he's been doing good in Green Bay, and then I just got to see what he does in New York, because New York's a whole different beast than Green Bay. That New York media, that New York, just playing in New York City. So
he's playing in New Jersey.
But it's still the New York media.
Yeah, the New York media is for sure.
It's a whole different ballgame than Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot softer in New York than it is in Green Bay. Green Bay, that division is always a tough defense, smash mouth, outside, cold, bruises. That's what you think of when you think of that division. All right, let's go to the North, the AFC North. You got Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. That's another arguably best division in the AFC.
Yeah, I got a lot of wins in this division. I'm a little bit higher on Pittsburgh than you are.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Pittsburgh. Their wide receivers can't catch, man.
I have faith in Mike Tomlin, just like you said you had faith in Belichick.
Look, I think Mike Tomlin, I agree with you. He's probably the best coach in the NFL, next to Andy Reid.
You know me. I'm not a huge Steelers fan, but I respect Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I got to give kudos to Mike Tomlin. Hey, Mike Tomlin, just kind of doing a shout-out. If you ever want to call in and, talk to us, that would be really cool. Had to add that in there just in case.
Yeah.
And just in case we made it famous, which...
Who do you got winning this division?
I have Cincinnati hands down.
What's their record?
13-4.
Same. I got them winning 13-4.
I also have Baltimore that could potentially win the division. I have them at 12-5, and I definitely made this before OBJ signed with them, but he's still old. Like, he's still injury prone. I don't see him making it a full season.
Do you see Lamar making it a full season?
Yes,
yeah.
I do. I think his help has increased, so he doesn't have to do it all. Dobson's back, so
yep.
He's got his running game back. He's still got Mark Andrews and OBJ. Now he's got Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown's on the Cardinals now.
Who's their other guy then? Hollywood Brown? Is that Marquise Brown?
Yeah, Marquise Brown. Yeah, he's with the Cardinals.
Then
he got traded last year at the trade deadline.
Oh, I have to look up who's the other wide receiver then, because they had three of them.
They had
Bateman. Bateman was good, but there's another fast guy on there. I'm going to look this up real quick.
But I also have Baltimore at 12-5, finishing second in the division. I have them making the playoffs as a wild card.
Okay. Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
that was the pickup this year.
Yeah, they just drafted him.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of, but that's exactly who I saw in the video. Yeah, I think that was the best pickup. I think that was the best wide receiver in the draft class this year.
And then you got Pittsburgh in third or Cleveland?
Pittsburgh and then Cleveland. I'm not high on Deshaun Watson. I should probably be. He's a great athlete. I just don't believe in that coaching staff over there. I don't believe that they know how to handle a decent quarterback.
I think Deshaun Watson could be a dark horse MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, I could put a DraftKings small bet on that. That'd be a good payout.
Yeah.
Anything else in the North that we haven't really discussed very in depth with? It's pretty clear, cut, and dry.
What do you have Pittsburgh's record at?
6-11.
I have them 11-6.
So we're pretty close. It's just bet on. So folks, bet on the games that Ryan tells you that Pittsburgh is going to win, because I obviously picked it right. So yeah, let's move on to the South.
Okay.
Your favorite division, because you're a Colts fan by heart.
I am.
All right, in the South, you got Jacksonville, Tennessee, Indy, and Houston. I want you to start first, because I know this is going to be so biased.
It's not going to be biased. I have Jacksonville winning the division.
But you have Indy in second.
I do have Indy in second, yes.
That's the biased part, folks. This is where it's all going downhill here. This is where I think we lose credibility. If you continue to listen to this, the AFC South with Ryan, guys, he's very smart when it comes to football until you talk about the Colts. He has so much high hopes for this Colts.
The Colts are going to surprise some people this year. That's not me being biased.
They're going to surprise people when they win 5 games. Absolutely.
No, they're going to win more than 5 games.
I just don't see it. I know I have them at 10-7 in my mock draft, but I know that's going to be wrong, because I also have Houston at 0-17.
Yeah, that's definitely not happening either.
They'll probably beat the Colts, so chalk one up for the Houston and take one away for the Colts.
Yeah, even though they beat them in Week 18 last year, that was.
So you have Tennessee finishing where, third?
Third. So
we agree Houston's last, Jacksonville's first.
Yes.
So our 2 and 3 are mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
I have Tennessee at 12-5 this year.
I think Tennessee at 5-12.
And that's a problem. I mean, but again, looking at Tennessee's schedule, I can agree with you on a 5-12 opportunity and a 12-5. Some of these are coin flip games.
Yeah, they have New Orleans, the Chargers, the Browns, the Bengals, Colts, Baltimore, all before the bye week.
Yeah, that's 6 games that, I mean,
I think easily go 0-6 right there.
Easily go 0-6 for sure, which would give them way more losses than I have them already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they're going to take 2 losses in a row very kindly.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, Cleveland will lose that game. And I think that they'll come back and fire against Cincinnati, too, especially with the signing of DeAndre Hopkins.
If they start out 0-6, I think Will Levis will be in sooner than later.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ruin that young man's career. I don't think that's why DeAndre Hopkins signed with Tennessee either. I don't think he's ready to help another young quarterback strive. I mean, man, look at Kyle Murray in Arizona. He had the world, man.
And then he got hurt.
No, he just didn't perform. He wanted to play video games instead of play football. It's just sad.
And then I know your opinion on this question. I'm getting ready to ask you, but what do you think of C.J. Stroud for Houston?
I'm not a fan of Ohio State quarterbacks, period. I don't think that they'll ever be successful. History shows that you should never draft an Ohio State quarterback. There's always an Ohio State quarterback that goes top 3, top 5, and they never make it after their second or third year.
Minus Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is last year this year, guaranteed. His first year was atrocious. His second year was his best ever year in high school, college football, and NFL football. He threw only 17 touchdowns and finished last in the NFL.
Well, you know how high I am on Justin Fields, but we'll talk about him in the NFC.
Yes, when we get to the NFC, and we'll have to talk about our crazy bets.
Yes.
So we got to bet a lot in the AFC South. Let's kind of bring that up a little bit. I have a bet with Ryan here to go to a restaurant. I don't remember exactly what the bet was, but it was with the Colts, I'm sure. Is that correct?
You said the Titans were going to sweep the Colts.
That's right. Titans sweep the Colts this year, 100%.
And that's not happening.
There was another one with the Colts, I thought. No, the rest are with the NFC.
The rest are with the NFC.
Okay. Then let's move on to the West.
Let's move on to the West.
So we got Kansas City, the Chargers, Raiders, and the Denver Broncos.
And I have them finishing in that exact order.
Okay, I actually went really low on the Raiders this year.
I did too. But I went
Denver,
lower on Denver.
Denver's got Sean Payton, man. Just like all of our great coaches, you got to give them an extra couple wins just by having a phenomenal coach.
Russell Wilson's got to prove it to me. He was awful last season.
Kyle Murray better than Russell Wilson?
I think that's a wash.
Dead straight even.
Right now, yes.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's got to prove it to me.
Who would you compare Russell Wilson to right now in the NFL?
Russell Wilson right now?
Would you start Andy Dalton over Russell Wilson?
Probably not, no.
Would you start Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson?
No.
Say that louder.
I would not start Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson.
Okay, would you start Gardner Minshew over Russell Wilson?
I'd start Anthony Richardson over Gardner Minshew.
I had to bring that Colts question in there. You're so high on Anthony Richards, it's great. It's just great. All right, so Kansas City winning the division, hands
13
down.
13 and 4 is what I have them at.
They're just going to be a tough team to always beat.
They always are. As long as Mahomes is their quarterback, they're going to be tough.
The nice thing with Kansas City right now, though, is they don't have to win. Like, they're not on that mindset of it's do or die. It's we're going to have fun and we're going to win having fun. And that's tough to beat. When you're not stressed to win, when you're playing from behind and you're still having fun, it's not, the mental game is gone.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get in their head. You literally have to beat them with skill.
I would not be surprised, though, with all the Kansas City's been all over the place. Mahomes, Kelsey, been all over the place, White House, whatever. If they had a little Super Bowl hangover week 1 and Detroit came in and gave them everything they can handle.
I'm excited for Detroit this year.
I think Detroit maybe could beat them week 1.
Yeah, and it's possible. Like the Colts beat the Chiefs last year out of nowhere. So every once in a while the Chiefs don't have to play, and they're like, you know what? If we want the Lions to make the playoffs, let's give them a free win. We're going to be number 1 no matter what happens. All right, so Chargers, how high do you have them? What's their record?
I'd low on the Chargers. I mean, a lot of people are higher on the Chargers, but I only have them in 7 games.
Okay, I have them 12-5, and Denver was 7-10.
Justin Herbert just got paid yesterday, so we'll see how well that contract goes.
His problem is his team gets hurt.
Yeah, he had a lot of injuries. Mike
Keenan
Williams
Allen
gets hurt every game.
Yep, Keenan Allen got hurt last year. Mike Williams plays 3 or 4 games, and then he's done for the season. Eckler's been his lifeblood. That man needs to get paid.
But you know how running backs are, though.
Yeah, you know what the sad thing is I think we're getting rid of the running backs.
Yeah.
I think the running game is going to happen once, maybe just once a series. Let's just call it once a series. First down, if it's after second down, it's going to be a pass play all the time. I think our defenses are not going to be linebackers. It's going to be safeties. Who has the better safeties? Who's going to be able to cover the wide receivers better?
Unless you have Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor.
Yep. And once Derrick Henry leaves this league, I can guarantee you're not going to find another running back that's going to be a star. There's no such thing as a star running back once Derrick Henry leaves. Now, there's going to be good running backs. You got Nick Chubb.
Who potentially arguably could be the best running back in the NFL.
Right now. He
Him
could.
or Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is both a catching back, and
Yeah.
he's more of a wide receiver, and he's more of a slot guy, honestly, but sets up in the backfield because he's fast. And that's honestly where I think that position is going to go. It's going to be a slot wide receiver, and then occasionally hand the ball off. Because now you know the new rule. You can't hand the ball off in front of the quarterback. The quarterback has to be behind. The handoff has to be behind the quarterback.
Really?
Yeah, that rule is really going to mess up the running game for a lot of people. So your draw plays aren't going to happen. Those running backs become wide receivers at that point.
Interesting.
Yep, they now consider that a forward lateral.
Look into that.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not, but
Time will tell.
exactly. All right, so you have the Chargers, you have the Raiders. The Raiders. Let's talk about the Raiders.
Raiders.
This is where I think we're far off. I have them at 3-14.
I have them at 6-11.
6-11. So we're not too far off, but
No.
you have Denver at what?
6-11 as well.
Okay, they're kind of tied down there at the bottom.
Yes.
That could potentially all happen. I don't
Denver,
think we're far
Denver
off.
could come out with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson and tear the league up this year. You never know, but they've got to prove it to me before I can give them more. After last season, all the hype they had last season, and come out and crap the bed like they did.
Yeah, yep, exactly. I think they did that on purpose. I'm a conspiracy on that. I think that Denver did that on purpose. Russell Wilson knew exactly what he was talking about. And the best evidence I have is week 1 with Russell Wilson. 4th and 5 on the 50-yard line. Why would you attempt that field goal to win the game?
Trying to get his coach fired.
Exactly. The conspiracy makes sense. But you don't have Justin Tucker kicking that. That was not Justin Tucker.
Yeah, that's Braden McManus.
Yeah, that's not a field goal that anybody but Justin Tucker can probably make.
Agreed.
You are paying this man $270 million, and you don't think he can get 4 yards or 5 yards on 4th down after he just did 15 on 3rd down?
Right. Yep, agreed.
To me, that's either a dumb coaching call or Russell Wilson needed to be on the coach's side and be like, Coach, come on. I got this. But you could tell Russell did not have the fire he had when he was in Seattle.
No, especially that Thursday night game when they played the Colts. That was probably one of the ugliest games I've ever watched in my life.
That was pretty boring.
That was ugly. Like, I'm a huge Colts fan, and I almost didn't want to watch it anymore.
That's so sad.
I was like, I don't know how the Colts won that game to begin with, but it was bad.
I actually don't recall watching that game, but I know about that game. But it shocked me if I stayed awake during that game because that was boring.
Yeah, I just love watching football so much is the only reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that football. At some point, I would have been, nope.
Okay, so we got the divisions taken care of. So what did that put your playoffs at?
Playoffs, that means I have Kansas City number 1, Buffalo number 2, Cincinnati number 3, and Jacksonville number 4. Actually, let me see if I have Cincinnati and Jacksonville at the same record. Let's see who I have them beating each other with. Okay, I have Jacksonville at 3.
No, really?
Cincinnati at 4. Let me find my paper on this. You kind of threw me for a loop here, sir.
That's what I try to do. I have Cincinnati as the 1 seed, and I have Kansas City as the 2 with the same record, Cincinnati with the tiebreaker. And then I have Buffalo at 3, Jacksonville at 4, Miami, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh, the wild cards.
Okay, my wild cards are Titans, Ravens, and Chargers. I got rid of the Dolphins and Jets because I don't like them.
Talk about biased.
No, actually, from doing each game, so Ryan and I penciled in win-loss in each game throughout the regular season, and we came up with these numbers, not based on bias, but what we actually think. So my wild cards are Tennessee at 7, Ravens at 6, and Chargers with the 5th seed. I have Buffalo playing Tennessee. Buffalo advancing with the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously the number 1 seed. I got Jacksonville playing the Ravens. And unfortunately, Jacksonville's season ends right there, and the Ravens advance. Then I have the Chargers and the Bengals. I went with the Chargers. Because I prefer the Bills to play the Chargers over the Bengals.
Talk about bias right there.
Maybe biased, maybe hopeful. I really think, though, that it could actually happen. I really believe that as long as the Chargers stay healthy, that's very plausible.
Well, Chargers ain't even making the playoffs, but go ahead.
Yeah, in your eyes. So my next round, I have Kansas City playing the Ravens. I have upset alert. The Baltimore Ravens advancing to the AFC Championship against the Buffalo Bills.
Baltimore is not beating Kansas City in the playoffs.
I mean, if they do show off, I will definitely make a bet with you. That bet will be great.
I'm sure it will.
Could probably put a Corvette that the Ravens will beat them
Really?
this year. Yep.
Oh.
So I have Bills in the Super Bowl beating the Ravens in the AFC Championship. Buffalo represents the AFC this year.
Hasn't happened since 1992.
4, 6.
They didn't go to the Super Bowl in 96. They went 4 straight and haven't made it back.
Yes, you're right, but I think that was 94, though, sir.
91, 92, or 89, 91, 90 season, 91, 92, and 94 season, 93 season, I mean.
93, yep. So we're right in the middle. 90, 91, 92, 93. We don't want to talk about that, though. We're going to edit that out.
Sore subject.
Yeah. All right. Playoff bracket.
My playoff bracket. Yep. I have Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. Kansas City winning that game. I have Buffalo at home against Baltimore. I have Buffalo winning that game. Jacksonville versus Miami. I got Jacksonville winning that game. It goes on. Divisional round. I have Buffalo at Kansas City. I have Kansas City beating Buffalo. And I have...
That is so wrong.
I have Jacksonville at Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati winning that game. And then I got Kansas City going into Cincinnati and beating them in the AFC Championship game. AFC champions once again are the Kansas City Chiefs.
I can't believe you have the Bengals as the number 1 seed.
I have a lot of faith in the Bengals.
Yeah, you sure do. You have a lot of faith in the Steelers in that division too. Okay, so you have the Chiefs, which is not a bad bet. I have the Bills, which are definitely not a bad bet.
Either one could happen.
That's right. And that wraps up our talks with the AFC.
It does.
All right. Thank you, folks, for listening to the first ever cool episode of Mom's Basement, talking about the AFC side and the AFC Championship breakdown. Thanks again. We'll see you next episode.